Right, guys, welcome back to the Culture Podcast. We have PG Ciarletta on today. How we doing, mate?
Good, my man. What about yourself?
Very well, mate. Very well. So I want to dive into a few things with yourself because obviously, fucking interesting guy. Now, main thing that I wanted to sort of start on, to be honest with you, was the Euros, because me and my mates went. Actual time of my life, mate.
Aye.
So good, like unbelievable. And obviously, I seen that you were out there. What was your whole sort of setup? What was your situation? Did you like go over yourself, or what was?
Obviously I've followed Scotland for quite a long time, so I've met a lot of people over the years, plus lots of my friends and family and cousins and that as well. And with the music, plus the song at the time from Glasgow to Berlin, there was just a lot of people. So I originally travelled across myself. I literally got a train from Mount Florida because for me, obviously taking all my stuff, it was easier just to go via train. So I went train from Mount Florida, Glasgow Central sleeper, London, Eurostar to Belgium, and then Belgium down to Munich at first. So that's how I got there. But no, I had plenty of people I knew. I've always been lucky. I've always been welcome in the sort of sport and football world, and I'm a massive football fan as well, so I kind of love it too. So I had plenty of pals across there.
Aye, because you had that from Glasgow to Berlin song. Obviously, did that just initially blow up because of the TikTok?
Aye, it was a TikTok flash in the pan, you know what I mean?
Aye.
It did. TikTok's probably one of your biggest allies these days, to be honest, like getting your message and your music out there. But yeah, it was just a TikTok video that dated back. That was after one of the qualifiers when we got like a big result. So I just literally posted a wee clip of TikTok from an idea, and it just went absolutely viral, and it was just absolutely everywhere. I mean, my face was everywhere, WhatsApp group chats everywhere, on the radio, telly, Hampden Park, the GBX, the big rave version is getting blasted out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So yeah, it just started from there, and it just kind of kept building and building and building as we got closer into the Euros. So it was literally just one video on TikTok, just went bang, and it's just one video can kind of change what you're doing for the next couple of months.
It's actually nuts, because that's like you're saying, like you literally, I guess you just like set up your phone, got the guitar out and just went fuck it.
It was mad because like it's weird because a lot of times you need, like, obviously from what I do with my gigs and stuff, you'll have photographers, you'll have videographers, you'll have stuff, and it'll be high quality content, you want it to look good, but a lot of times it's the wee videos you film off your iPhones are the ones that just go, especially on like TikTok, just got absolutely viral. So that was just me. I didn't even have a stand. I just sat on my phone like that, hanging off a wee bit, and I just belted it out. And it honestly, it just done the job, man. People loved it, and it kind of just like went from there. So it just kind of shows you can spend what you want, but if you just got a means of doing something and people get it and they connect with it, it's just gonna.
Because if you get something that catches, mate, like regardless of the quality of what the video might be, it'll catch on. Because I seen I was going through all the comments on it and that, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking get this on Spotify, mate!" Like get it all set up. But so what was your setup for the Euros? Because obviously I seen you were on, obviously, like they done that Open Goal live version in. Was it all three cities?
So that was only Munich. So we done Munich and Cologne. Right. So yeah, I had hundreds of TV, radio stuff, Sky Sports, European media, Sky Italia, TV4 Sweden, BBC Breakfast, ITV this morning, STV, BBC Scotland. I done a lot of stuff with BBC Scotland.
How did you get yourself in the mix with these lot?
Just the traction of the song and just the content going off, and then I've just over time just built quite a lot of connections there as well. And the thing is, a lot of times you have to kind of bang doors and chase things, but a lot of times, man, folk will just come and find you. Like at the end of the day, man, folk are out to see what the stories are, to see what the trends are, and they're out to like write about stuff, put stuff on the TV, do things that the public want to see. So if you're hitting a level of popularity or relevance, then people are just going to go, oh, there's that guy, there's the contact details, will come and get them, and then from there you just build loads of contact, you make pals with loads of people, and then it's just useful people, for the rest of your life.
Because you've networked a bit, and now, like you're saying, folk will just come to you because you're kind of a bit more like established at that point, because everyone else is kind of either done stuff with you or they know you from like X, Y, and Z. So I know what you mean. But what was it like performing in Munich then?
Munich was class. Obviously, we played. Open goal was kind of like improvisation for me at the end, man. I just came on and we were just kind of. I had obviously Slaney was just shouting songs, play that one, play that one, play that one, and he was like, play your one, and we played Glasgow to Berlin, and everybody went fucking mental.
Oh mate!
And then we had the gig at night, it was jumping, and then we actually had an indoor gig in Cologne, so we had the same indoor open goal in Cologne, indoor event at night, which was a gig which was like 900 people sold out. That was fucking bouncing. That was the peak, probably that night, and then the big massive fan zone on match day in Cologne. That's probably that's when the summer peaked. When we hit that moment, we just started going like this after it. But yeah, those two, man, it was just crazy. Everybody was just having a good time, partying, and just the numbers of people in Munich on match day. Like I was like, we'll never see that ever again.
Mate, that was
incredible,
fucking unbelievable. Because we only went to Munich, because like we had like jobs and shit like that to get back to. So we went to the fan zone, mate. It was unbelievable. I've never like done anything like it, been anywhere like it. It's like just a sea of Scottish fans just all going fucking mental. It was a nightmare to get a drink, but fucking besides that, unbelievable. But so we actually performing on the stage like in the Cologne one with a big like huge fan zone.
Aye, so basically there was that many Scottish folk in Cologne, and the folk in Cologne were very sound. In general, they were very, very welcoming. Like the Germans love us anyway, man.
Mate,
the Germans are like, aye, sport is okay, music unbelievable.
Yeah,
like they've not got a clue what we're singing about. Like, they've not a clue what we're singing about. But I think just the tone of our accent similar to German, so they seem to just like it and they get it. And Scottish folk have always done well there. But yeah, no, Cologne was just like, it was like literally just turned Princess Street into like it was like Princess Street being turned into a fan zone.
Aye.
Screens everywhere, and just again, it was just endless amounts of people just singing, constant like Scottish act after Scottish act, and then the guys that were organised it all went to the game, and I had to run it with some random German TV presenter that just sat under nothing, and I just had to like read the teams out and just do everything there, like just kind of proper winging it. But we got through it, man. It was good.
Oh mate, see when that's actually reminded me. See when they were reading the teams out, that was fucking brilliant. Just as like the game is coming on, well, it was an hour before obviously kick off. They started reading the teams out, and we're all going fucking mental whenever they say anybody's name. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, man. that was the highlight for me, like.
So is that like one of the biggest crowds you've played in front of then?
Yeah, that one plus on the rugby side of things, I done Murrayfield, so I've done the pitch at Murrayfield.
I've seen that.
Done the roof at Murrayfield.
That's mental.
I've done the fan zone there, and then also I played quite a big gig myself. I played SWG Galvanizer supporting Louis Dunford, so that was quite a big audience as well. So probably the fan zone in Cologne, plus I would say Murrayfield on the roof, because there was quite a lot of folk in the stadium in that time.
That was nuts. What's the view like up there, mate?
Well, I'm eye level with the castle, so you're kind of turning around just like,
that's fucking mental.
So you can kind of see the castle, and you see like everybody at the bar underneath.
Aye, 4
pints in hand going for. I'm like, get inside, mate. I'm about to start singing. But no, so you're very high up. You get a beautiful view of like the West Stand, and then obviously it was just literally me, the piper, up there. So I'm pretty much one of the only persons or people that stood up there and took in the actual anthem. Because the only person before that was Jamie Webster. They done that in a Liverpool versus Napoli game at Murrayfield, and he done his kind of. A les.
Aye,
so
I was there.
We done that from a Scottish perspective, and it was good. But I'd love to. I want to go back and do that. I think if we done something like maybe Loch Lomond for the roof,
that'd be
or
class.
for the pitch, like pre-match when the crowd's in, a couple of Scottish numbers back to back. I reckon it would get the stadium going.
Was that for rugby?
That was for rugby. So I done that one. But yeah, rugby's always a good atmosphere as well.
Do you watch much of the rugby yourself?
I do watch. So I obviously watch Scotland. I've done the fan zone for Edinburgh Rugby,
right,
as well. They've always been good with me, giving me opportunities. So I've been there. I've kind of watched games. I've seen the 1872 Cup because I done the fan zone for that game as well, and then a couple other like the private parties they had as well. But yeah, no, I do watch that too. But I like sport, but I'm a bigger football guy, obviously.
Aye, no, I'm the same. I'm not really a big rugby guy, to be fair. But see, if you're obviously stepping out in front of crowds like that size, like fucking massive, actual big deal, like Do you have to have a bevy before? Like, how do you?
No,
how'd you deal with that,
in
mate?
this day and age, mate. You got to be composed at all times. So I always find when you go up crowd sizes, or if you're in an environment like that, so you can't really see the audience because you're so far away. And then when the crowd sizes start getting above like 500, 1,000, you can't really see all the faces. It's just like first couple of rows. So you just for me, you're just pumping with adrenaline, so you're pretty zoned in, and then you're obviously like in-eared up in that as well. It's always harder when you're up close and personal, and you've got like 50, 30 people standing right in front of you, and you're playing, and you're perhaps playing something new that you want to test out.
So what you reckon? It's like more like you get more like a nervous feeling if it's
when it's more intimate, up close, and you can see people's reactions and you can see their faces 100%, because you're with touching distance, folk can shout stuff. You're shite. No, I've never had that, but play Johnny Cash. No, it's never
throw shit at you.
Aye, go and play that one, big man. No, that's always harder because you can kind of just assess people's emotions and what they're thinking, and you can see their reaction. So that's actually always harder than actually doing it on a wider scale, because you just kind of get in the moment and you're just like pumping with adrenaline.
Aye, because that, like, I think like most folk, I mean, that's why like obviously like so many fucking music artists, when they go on tour, they're always fucking taking shit or drinking, like, but you just don't touch it.
I like a couple of nights out.
Right.
If I'm on tour, I might have a few nights out, man, just obviously on the bevy. But most of the time, no. Like for me, if people are paying money to come and see you, then I think you need to be on top form, because listen, in this day and age, cost of living crisis, money's tight. People giving up their time to come and see you and support you, you've got to be very grateful for that, and that's a big responsibility. So you can't really, you can't take the piss. Like folk obviously do that, but I think it's kind of changed slightly. Like back in the 90s and the early 20s, that was the thing, to just get absolutely bladdered, and it was the thing. But now it's kind of changed a wee bit. So people still enjoy themselves, they still party, but if you look at kind of the musicians that are kind of hitting the top level and that, a lot of them are kind of a bit more controlled and a bit more fit and healthier, just to keep themselves like for touring and being on top form. So you've got to enjoy yourself and let your head down, especially if you've got moments of success and stuff like that. But getting bevied 3 days a weekend, that's past days, mate. I used to do that. I've lived those moments, and I miss those moments sometimes, and it's easy to slip back in those moments, but it's just that's just how I like to sort of conduct myself. Aye,
so you were saying as well, obviously you've played all across the UK and that. Where's the best place? What's the best crowd?
It's hard, because I've kind of said this before, like any American or anybody from London that comes up to Scotland, they're like, yeah man, Glasgow's the best crowd. And it is, like, Glasgow's probably the best crowd for me, and it's mental. But you know, when you go up to like Aberdeen, Dundee, Inverness, further north of the country, you kind of realise the crowds are just mental across Scotland as a whole. But then, yeah, my favourite gig moments have been in Glasgow.
Right.
And yeah, I think it is just got the edge in terms of the craziest crowd. Aberdeen's pretty nuts as well, because it's just like
really?
It's
just
think that. It's just because it's like a one team city, so it's like people just spill out of Pittodrie and they just go straight to a music gig and they're just all hammered. The Geordies, Newcastle as well. Newcastle's pretty nuts too.
I would imagine that.
Newcastle's they kind of like their singer songwriter and storytelling, and somebody that does a wee bit of indie rock. So somebody like me, they kind of like my stuff. So like, even when I went down there first time in a support slot, there was quite a lot of people turned up early to come and see me, and then just the whole night itself, it was just rocking. Like everybody, it was a Saturday as well. So if you
how have they turning up early to see you if like you've never been before? How do you feel? Like, how have you got your reach like there? Again, just social media.
Just social media, TikTok, Instagram, and obviously Twitter before it turned into an extremist platform.
Such a mental.
But yeah, that's how I found people. So like when you go to Newcastle, it's kind of like you've got the Geordies and then you've got the Border Scots.
Aye.
And they're like, well, that's the closest gig, I'll go there. So that's how they sort of found me. But that night they were there to see it, and then obviously as it show built, they were just giving it loudly, as you would say.
Nah, mate, that's mental. So really, the main bit for expanding your brand's just been social media, really.
A lot of times social media, it's a balance between two. So like early days social media 100%, but now it's just going and playing.
So what if you were like let's say you're an upcoming artist, you want to get yourself out there, you'd say just dive straight on social media?
You need to use social media, obviously, in this, like, it's gone a bit mad in the sense that, like, folk are doing ridiculous stuff now to, like, push music, like the forward rolls, strip teases, dances, thousands of men queuing up for them and all that. Maybe not that.
Wild.
But it's gone like that instead of just making good music and posting your content. So I think you need to, like, use social media the right way. As a marketing tool, it's a way of getting your name, your music out there, your messages out there. But it's that, plus you need to go and play. You can't just sit on your backside. You need to go out and it is a hard thing to do. It's very difficult, costs and all that as well. But you need to just go out and play absolutely everywhere, even places across countries that don't get a lot of music.
Right.
Because I do find that as well. It's quite powerful because there's so many, like, working class areas across Scotland and beyond that they've had, like, sort of like the culture, the heart, the venues, the high streets and that. They've all been ripped out of them.
Yeah,
I mean, so it kind of feels like that's been taken away from a lot of people. All the past generation said these places were bouncing, so it's like, how as a country, how do you get that back? So obviously, I want to see Scotland thrive. I want to see that thrive as well. So it's just very important to go and play and take the music to people and do things properly, but then also get yourself on the support slots with the bigger artists, and also on the festivals as well. So basically, if you get a balance of the content and the social media right, plus just doing what you're meant to do, that's how you kind of progress. But you've just got to be so patient. It's like this all the way. You're like, I'm getting worse, I'm fucking shite, and then, like, one day it can go up again.
It's the exact same with this, mate.
So you've just got in your mindset, you've just got to see, like, every day you're building towards something in a way.
So I mean, that's interesting. I mean, with regards to touring and that, like, what's the goal for yourself then? Is it like what's your plans? Do you want to get, like, worldwide, or what you thinking?
I think obviously your end goal, you want to be worldwide. You want to be number ones. You want to be in the stadiums. Obviously that's your ambition. But from a personal level, it's kind of doing what I've said there. I just want to take my music and play it right now all across Scotland, down in England, Ireland, 100%. And then really build from there. This year is about, actually going to people, giving music to people across Scotland and beyond in places that don't really get it. Building towards festival season, building towards a main tour where I'll go to, say, Glasgow, Edinburgh, and down to loads of places in England. And then, it's just building towards sort of my more like my first album, because you're always on, like, your first album cycle, so you're building towards that as well. So that's kind of the realistic goals right now versus, like, what's the ultimate ambition. But I like, for me, my music stands for something. It's really a sing about working class issues, inner city folktales, social issues. My next couple of songs, you'll kind of see that, where I'm talking about how when you go to all these great working class communities in great areas across the world, you'll see that they've lost a lot of stuff. That culture, that heartbeat, and I want to use that music to get these people going, give people a bit of hope, and kind of inspire the country and people to come out and start joining the game and do something about it.
See, on the side of like, obviously you're posting on social media. Now, one of the negatives of that is there's a lot of wankers. To be 100% honest with you, I've experienced it. Obviously you have as well. Does your head ever fall off your shoulders when you do see, like, you've posted something you've actually, like you're saying, it's something you're passionate about, it's what you want to pursue, and somebody's just, like, commenting shite?
Yeah, so like anytime you go viral and you get your reach hits millions or hundreds of thousands, you're going to get pelters. Like, there's a group of people, and it kind of starts, like, when you start your post and you'll get, like, 10 views, no one gives a fuck, and then you'll start doing stuff and it starts to go up. Then it becomes a bit more relevant, and then a group of people start going, why are people sharing this? And then they'll go for you. But it doesn't bother me, because, and, like, the world has changed now, you can't really do this now, but, like, when I grew up, when you went to primary school, you were getting ripped every day. And you were ripping your mates every day. And then you went to, like, secondary school and you were getting ripped every day, and you were ripping your mates every day. Then you go and play for a football team. You're in a dressing room, you're getting absolutely dug. You know what I mean? And then you're going out with your mates, you're getting dugs. Boys like all the dugs abuse. So you kind of get battle hardened and away from that. So, like, I get pelters dished out all the time. I don't care. Like, I've had, obviously, in the back, I've seen folk, like, to the point sometimes you'll get somebody coming up to you in the street singing your song, and you walk down the other street and somebody calls you a wanker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's stuff like that.
Oh, it's actually happened.
That's happened before as well. But, so, like, it's just
that's like, That's just weird, mate.
Yeah.
Like, come on, fuck me.
Yeah.
You must have something better to do.
But it's like you've just got to kind of. I just block out. But it's hard for. I've always noticed, and it's like when you look at sports stars and that as well. They get 10 times more abuse than me, a million times more abuse than me. But it's the impact on people's families and friends, because a lot of these folk are just human beings as well.
Aye.
They're not bad people. When you meet them, you kind of realise that you're just a normal guy as well that's kind of done, or a girl that's been very successful. So it is like that sort of balance. But the best thing is just to block it out and just don't read what these people say, and just do
not
what you
read
do.
the comments at all, or how do you like fish through that? Or do you just read it and go like, fuck off?
I just leave it there and I read it, and then sometimes I go back and laugh at it. Like when you're getting called Tommy Fury off Wish, and I had obviously a slick back haircut, and everybody, they were all calling me Kim Jong Un, and saying my eyes were like this and I wasn't blinking, so they were saying I had a gun behind my head, and then I've had so much saying I hope this happens to you, hope that happens to you. Just
people are fucking creative, mate.
Like some of the pelters, and I like it sometimes when somebody just goes on and they read all the abuse out and they go, this is like mean tweets or stuff like that. Aye. Some of this, like, to be fair, the patter is quite good sometimes.
Aye, that's what I was going to say.
I'm reading it like, what on earth have I done to, like, what have I done to this guy?
I know, mate. Now, obviously, you're fucking 100 times bigger than me, but like, obviously, since I've gathered a wee bit of a following, like, you see, he's just like, mate, what's your fucking issue, mate? Like, I don't get it. Like, when it comes to like getting your pelters, even like if it's not even that personal, it's just like, oh, why the fuck's this guy even
I think
doing this?
It's like, because folk, they, like, those people want to be on a platform giving their opinion. That's deep down the cause. They want to be doing it as well, and they're no. So then they were like, well, my action towards that is just, I'm going to hit you with abuse instead. It's like, well, see, instead of doing that,
just do it
and use your energy to do that, you could actually probably get yourself somewhere that you can actually do that.
Yeah,
and give off an opinion.
But
unfortunately, it's easier to just go, you're a fucking dick.
Yeah,
you're shite.
I know. But nah, I think you're right. Like, because see, for me as well, see, when you boil it down, like, they're fucking clearly not a very happy person, mate. So it's really, I feel like, more on them than fucking me. Even if what I am doing is shite, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that definitely can be the case as well. But I mean, see, for your song, for yourself, what's the sort of number one go-to song when you're? Is there one that you specifically go to when you're playing? Like, you know, like, this is a fucking this is a banker.
Yeah. So I've been like, all the songs that I've written, and sort of the newer ones are all very, very strong songs. Start Revolution, people love that one.
Yeah, that's a tune.
Now That You're Here, everybody loves that one. For me, I love. It's hard because, like, I played Start Revolution last night, and that was the one, because obviously getting it the big one and the kick pedal, and everybody was going for it word for word. But yeah, Until You Get Home, I think when I play that, like, full production, that's the one that, as soon as the guitar riff comes in, man, everybody just fucking loses it and starts going for it and jumping about and singing it. So I would say that my favourite one is still Until You Get Home.
Right.
But I've got loads of different ones that are very strong, like the ones I mentioned.
See how you were obviously saying, like, looking to obviously work towards an album. How expensive is it actually to make an album? If you're wanting to make something of good quality, like, how dear can that be? Obviously it can be fucking unlimited, really, but like,
you need a lot for, like, and again, for like,
what
that
goes into it.
So for disadvantaged people, again, it's very difficult to do it just because of the money. So so it'll start with, like, you need to write the songs, and you need to, you know, go and write with someone. Then you need to have a producer, and you need to have a good producer. Then you're probably looking at 10 to 12 songs. So you could be, you know, you've got the cost of that, and then
how dear would that all come to?
Again, just depends. You could be looking, I reckon, between, like, up to, like, a bit decent stuff, maybe about 10 grand, round about that. Yeah, if you count it up over time, round about that mark. Shit. Maybe higher. And then obviously you've got to then have people working around it as a team.
So you fully independent?
So you get classed as independent if you're not on a major label.
Right, okay.
So you'll have different functions behind the scene working. So my releases right now are more independent.
Right.
But you get so many different things that they're like independent labels, which is like a record label. you've got a distributor, you've got a publisher, you've got, you have a manager, you have a booking agent. You could have social media people. There's like, when you start going like that, it's a lot of people.
So you're working with basically tons of cunts.
So you'll have quite a few folk working with you, helping you out, and it's just like everyone else, man. You'll have so many folk that just love you and your music, and there's so many good folk out there that you kind of do help you initially as a love of what you do, but then over time when you become successful, it's kind of, you got to be loyal back to these people.
Yeah, no.
In a way. So yeah, there's lots of that. So your cost to write an album could be that. Then you've got to market it. Then you've got to do all your content. You've got to distribute it. You might have to put on shows as well. You got to do a merch run. So like, when you think about it that way, it is a lot of money. It all adds to do it properly. It all adds up. So
and if you don't do it properly, then it's fucking no point in doing it, really.
You can still, like, people, if they want to just put an album out, they can. Like, you could do it really cheap if you wanted to. Like, there is nothing stopping you doing that, but it's like, if you want to do it properly, there is a cost that come. It is hard to get funding to do it, and that's why it's very tough for people to go out there and do it, because of just the financial difficulties.
So see when, like, obviously with regards to record labels and that side of things, because you seem to see like a lot of artists end up getting absolutely shafted for like record labels, like they've got a shite cut, but they just didn't know, they were just fuck it, like brand new to the scene. So like, how do you, like, would you want to be like signed to a record? Is it like a huge benefit of being signed to a record label? Like, what's the actual, like, what's the difference? Is it, do they like fund it for you?
So yeah, but it's just like anything else. So again, it depends on the genre. Like, you might not need a record label in this day, or a major deal in this day and age, just because of what else is coming to play, like social media and your ability to build a platform. Like, if you've got that in so many allies in different areas to get your music out there, then you don't necessarily need a label. But if you do get a label, the benefit is obviously the network and the contacts they've got.
I suppose.
Plus, they've got all the functions to like publicise, to perhaps distribute, to do a lot of the other stuff. But then again, what happens is they give you an advance a lot of times. So if you don't have money to make an album, they'll give you the money to make the album.
Yeah.
And this could be like, and I probably gave a figure that it's quite cheap to do an album.
Yeah.
Because if they're giving you money, you could end up getting a lot of money here.
Aye.
But the catch is, it's not your money.
This is what I've heard.
It's their money, so you've got to make that money back, pay them off, and then you can start generating money off the back of it. So it's not like.
So let's say they gave you fucking like 70 grand, right, to like fully just do everything. You're saying it's essentially a loan.
It is a loan, aye. It's like you're in debt. You're in 70 grand worth of debt.
And let's say album shite flops.
Then you're still in.
So you're just fucked.
You'll still be paying it off unless you get dropped. If you get dropped, then you get to keep the money. But
oh really?
So you get dropped, you get to keep the money. But if you get, say, somebody gives you 100 grand to do an album and you only make 30 grand, like, you still have to make that up. So you're still paying.
So it's just going in your pocket.
Yeah,
basically.
and that could be like that. It's like anything you could be going out on tour and doing shows, generating money, and it'll be going back to the label because you still owe them money. So you've got to be careful. And most people this day and age, when it comes to like contracts and that, nobody reads fuck all.
Yeah, I know.
That's why, and you've got lawyers out there who do read it, but they cost a lot of money. But
yeah,
if you're going to sign anything, you need to fucking read what you're signing, because then if you don't, then you will go to do something in 6 months and you'll be like, that's not in your contract, or that wasn't a contract. So if I get in through, I will read it. And make sure, like, okay, that's what I've signed. Because I've heard stories, folk just go, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it, there we go. And then something happens, like, your tune gets taken off, and you're like, where's my song? And they're like, oh, we just decided to take it off. Can I do that? How? Well, I can because I own the rights. So it's like stuff like that. So you've got to be very careful. And a lot of folk I think a lot of folk just either, like, they just don't know, or they just don't read. Or they're badly advised.
There's a lot of people that are guilty of just not reading.
Aye, and you will get people out there that will shaft you as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You've got to be very careful. Like, people will shaft you, and they don't, like, in the world as well. You will get good people that will want you, and they'll be personally there for you, fighting your corner, fighting for you in rooms that you're not in. But there is a lot of people out there that will fucking shaft you, and they do not give a fuck. Like, you'll just be a number.
Have you experienced much of that? Like,
no,
you've been alright?
No, really, I've always been lucky with, like, I've been surrounded by good people.
Right.
But I've seen how, like, if you're not surrounded by good people, how it can get
Easy
into
go.
those and that environments. It can be easily done. But I've always been lucky with who's around me.
Because see, that'd be my concern, especially obviously, like, you kind of know what it's like. But see if, like, you put out, like, one of your first sort of songs and it just goes fucking, you know, like, mental, and you're just like a young fucking, like, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever, like, you could so easily be fucking, like, just taking advantage of.
Like a lot of, but then it's like anything else. A lot of folk will just come straight from school and they'll become a footballer or a musician, and they don't know anything else. They haven't had to go into, like, the world of, like, doing jobs or going to college or uni or stuff like that. So it is hard for those people to understand what they're going into, because they don't know, because you don't know what the world is, because you've just went straight for that to that, and that's amazing opportunities you're going into, but you don't necessarily know how the things work,
how to navigate.
So then in those scenarios, you are trusting who's around you to look after you.
It's dodgy, mate.
But that's the world, mate.
Nah, no, I suppose. But I mean, see, circling back to football a wee bit here, with regards to Scotland national team, Steve Clark, in or out, mate?
I've still got a Steve Leclerc sticker on my guitar case.
Stevie in.
I say in. Like, obviously the last 2 Euros we would have wanted to do better, but I think if you look at it holistically over the last, since 1998, right? I can't even mind 1998, right?
I wasn't born.
Don't think anybody can remind 1998 apart from those generations. But if you look at from that time to that time, he's the only manager that's got us to, like, obviously in the men's game, right? He's the only manager that's got us to a major.
Aye.
And you can say what you want about, it's easier to qualify, and Sticks pub team or whatever around the corner can qualify. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that, because of, like, there's too many places. I don't think that's right. I think he's still qualified.
I get what you're saying. He definitely deserves a level of respect, obviously, for that. Like you're saying, especially 2 Euros on the bounce. But it is easier to qualify, and we are a lot better than typically we have been.
Yeah,
I feel like the quality of players.
Yeah, I think we've got better quality players, because that is one of the reasons we've qualified. We do have a far better quality of player. But I think based on, I would give him another crack at the World Cup. So I think he's kind of hinting at, this could be the last sort of campaign. So I would like to give him one last chance at the World Cup.
Unbelievable. Would you go if it's
in the States? You know what I mean?
So
it's
over in. Is it not Mexico, US, and Canada?
I need to hit the big time to go there, because
it's
different, because obviously in Germany you can get train everywhere.
Aye.
And in America and Mexico, Canada, it'll be regional, obviously, where it's going to be. But even then, you're going to have to fly, and the price to go to America is pretty expensive. And I think that's where, when it gets to the major competitions, it's, I understand, like, they're trying to take the game and spread it around the world, but it is hard. It's getting hard to get there, and it's like the accessibility for people as well. In some places is harder, but I get why they do it and move it to give other people in countries a chance.
Do you know what I don't get though, mate? I don't get why we're having it in 3 countries, like the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, because I've seen, like, I don't know if it's the next one or something like that. It's like something like France, Spain, and Morocco or something like that.
Yeah, I
don't know, mate.
I prefer. I think the 2 best countries for it are France and Germany.
Yeah,
because I think they're, like, properly set up to have tournaments, and I think you're better having it in one country, but I don't know. There's obviously people just try to think of wacky and out there ideas to move the match, the experience, and all this. But it's from a fan perspective, it does make it a bit more difficult.
Do you think we'll get in the World Cup? Will we qualify?
It will be. It's going to be tough. I think. Obviously, the Nations League campaign. It was good to just see them kind of move to, like, a new way of a system, fit bed in a couple new players, and kind of get a wee bit of momentum going again.
Aye.
I think we've got Belarus. Surely we get 6 points there. I'm not going to touch fate, but surely.
Gotta be, mate.
And then it's Greece, so we'll find out about Greece in March. But that's going to be a close game. And then it's going to be Denmark or Portugal. So hopefully it's Denmark.
Even that. I've still got a good team.
So I think if it's Denmark, Greece, Scotland, Belarus, we've got a good chance.
Got a good chance, mate.
Because top goes through. I'm sure second hits the playoffs.
A new format as well, isn't it, for the
Yeah.
World Cup? It's like three teams a group, I think.
4.
Is it 4?
Yeah,
I thought
4.
It was 3.
4 teams. So there's some 5 teams of 5, and then there's some teams of 4. We're in a team of 4.
No, I mean for the actual competition.
Oh right, I've not seen that. I've not seen it yet.
They're doing like, I think it's just to basically get more countries in.
Right.
So once again, that fucking come on, like surely got to make it, mate. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, also, the up front situation. Who would you play up the top? Because this was fucking really the main debate of the whole campaign. Is we've got Shea Adams up there, just sort of obviously like running about, not really scoring. You've got Dykes. You've got not really Shankland now. He's kind of off it. But who would you go for?
I think with what we've got,
Or would you like McTominay or something like that?
No, I'd keep him where he is. He's sort of the main man in the midfield. So I think from where we're at, it depends on the type of game we're in. I think if we're in a game where we're against a team that's like technically better and going to dominate the ball, Dykes is a better option because he puts himself about, gets us up the park, and we missed him a wee bit in the Euros.
Aye.
But if we want goals, the best option is Che Adam. I think he's doing in Torino. He seems to be doing better across there. So I think he in those games is better. But apart from that, it's like you're then down to like, is it Shankland? Kevin Nisbet dropped away. He was in the squad a couple of years. And then from that, you're kind of going like, who else is out there to come in? So it's still out of Dykes and Che Adams. A lot of people are like, get Simon Murray in the squad. Love Simon Murray. I think he's a great player. Love watching him play in the Scottish League, putting his shell about and causing problems. But I think from what we've got, the best 2 options is Adams or Dykes, and it depends on the type of game.
Aye, I know what you mean. Because the only thing is like with goals, we just fucking don't score. None of our strikers actually score.
Yeah, like
we rely heavily on McTominay and McGinn's.
Yeah.
Output.
So we've got like brilliant fullbacks. The midfield's so strong, and then it's like if we have a bit more sort of options up front in the squad, you get a wee bit more competition as well. It's good, and then obviously I think in the defence though, he's like John Surton, that he looked pretty good in some of the games, so he kind of changed to like more a back 4.
Aye,
I seen, and then Tierney's coming back, Hickey's coming back, so there's a wee bit of strength at the back in the back line too.
It's interesting with Tierney. I don't know. Obviously, there's been rumours for him going back to Celtic. What would you think about that?
Oh, I think he's coming back in summer. Like,
aye. Are you happy with that? Because see, the only thing for me is like, see when you've had such a fucking great career at like Celtic, for example, coming back, he's going to find it difficult to like match that level. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he comes back. He's been very, very unlucky with how his career panned out in Arsenal, because he was flying at one point down there, and then obviously
the
injuries have hit, and he's had a bad time there. No, I think he's still a quality player that we don't really have in Scotland, so bringing him back to play in Scotland is a benefit to Celtic, and it's a benefit for the Scottish football as a product as well. You want players, you want your Scottish players to play there. It's because in reality we are a feeder league. Effectively, we'll produce good players, and they get snapped up they all go to Italy now. Like they get snapped up, go to Italy, which I would do the same. I'd be straight across to Naples. I'd be signing for Napoli.
100%.
And then obviously you end up in the Premier League or somewhere like that. So we've always been that sort of league that we never really get to see our best talents at their peak, because they always get headhunted and taken elsewhere. So it's good to get, because he's only 27, isn't he?
Aye.
So he's coming back at an age, if you can get a run of games, a run of fitness, you're going to see him at a decent level.
I wonder if he'll keep fit though. That's the only concern, because he has had a fucking shitter of a time with regards to injuries and that.
Yeah.
Just had no luck, mate.
I don't know, maybe obviously English Premier League's
it is a different
very
level.
physical.
It's a lot fast pace.
It's dynamic, it's power, it's physical, so maybe coming up to Scotland it's still going to be a challenge obviously, but it might be less of an extent to like what is down south, so you never know, it might be a better suit for him.
You're more holding the ball as well. You're playing with Celtic, you're going to have like 70% of the ball every game, so
he'll dominate the ball and he'll bum forward. So yeah, whereas I think at Arsenal and stuff, if you're playing, you're kind of Well, to be honest, Arsenal's going to have most of the ball in a lot of games.
Yeah,
but it's going to be more back and forth. You're going to have wingers with a lot of pace coming at you. You're going to have to stretch. You're going to have to make last-ditch tackles and stuff like that, where you could start pulling hamstrings and all that. But
aye.
I'm not a physio or a sports scientist, so fucking clueless.
Lastly, on the sort of Scottish League front, I mean, you got Celtic, Champions League. I mean, it's looking like we're going to go out, to be 100% honest. And then you got Rangers, top 8 of the Europa. How far do you think they'll go?
See, I don't think Celtic will get past Bayern Munich. I think they've done as well as they could in the home game. I think if they go Maeda through the middle, it could cause a wee bit of problems. But I think Bayern had Celtic really penned in at some points. Yeah. But I think Celtic's still done well. It's just a quality team and player they're up against. Rangers, you just don't know with Rangers because like the away form, the Queen's Park defeat, and then you go for that to then drawing with Tottenham, beating Celtic 3-0, and then Manchester United had a good display as well. So it just doesn't make sense.
I don't understand them.
I think they're a better side when they don't have the ball, and they're a bit more compact and direct. So in Europe, I would not be surprised if they went a couple of rounds. Like I wouldn't. It's just that competition just seems to be set up for Rangers in some way.
I know.
It's bizarre, but
your big teams, obviously, your two that you're mainly looking at are like Spurs and United, but they're both actually pish, like this year. Like, I actually think they've got a half decent chance of going pretty far.
Yeah, based on like what history tells us, now like the team they've got right now is not as good as the team they got to Seville.
Aye,
miles off it. They're miles off that team.
Aye,
but they've still probably got enough. And with the Ibrox crowd to get through one or two rounds, maybe quarter final. I'll go quarters.
Quarters
is the max, I reckon.
Aye, well, we'll wrap up, mate. Unless there's anything else you want to touch on at all. Is there anything you want to like promo for your? Like just upcoming. I've a new single out at the end of this month on the 28th, and then just touring across Scotland. Aberdeen, Inverness, which is the 21st and 22nd of February, and then Dundee on the 28th of February, and then Helensburgh on the 1st of March. Perfect. And then we go back and tour again and release more songs. Yeah, that's it.
And then go about Tottenham.
Rinse and repeat.
Aye.
That's it, mate. Right.
Hey, bar.
Thanks, guys, for watching. That's us.